Hey guys, so a few weeks ago I bought this Dieffenbachia Big Ben variegated plant, and I wanted to get it into tissue culture. However, I don't want to give it the chop. I really love it. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to take nodal segments from the plant using a scalpel, and I'm going to establish those in a protocol or a media that's going to get them into multiplication. So if you do happen to like the content that I'm making, please don't forget to give us a follow and a like, and I appreciate that 100-fold. You have no idea how much that means to me. It helps get my content in front of other people that are looking to learn how to get into tissue culture. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm just making an incision right above the node. And I'm just going to cut around it to get an idea of how large I want to get a chunk out. How to switch my hand. I am filming, so this is very difficult doing it with one hand, but we are thriving. Look at that slice. And boop. All right, so right here what I am doing is I'm replacing the blade with a number 11, which allows me to make finer cuts on the plant material that I'm about to work with, or the X-plants, or Big Ben, whatever you want to call them. So Big Ben ain't so big anymore. We're gonna go ahead and remove the edges. And the reason I'm doing that is because these have just been removed from bleach, and I will explain all of that here in a little bit. But nonetheless, I'm removing those segments so that I do not kill my tissue culture, because you do not want those edges in your plant when it's in the media. I'm also removing any condensation. So if you see me tip them over, it's because they had condensation, and I do not want any hyperhydricity in these plants. It will kill them. It's not fun. And so I am also in a still air box, and that allows me to work in a clean environment, not fully sterile because I need a laminar flow hood for that to be the case, but it's a nice clean area to work with. I did spray it down with 10% bleach solution to kill off any potential contaminants in there, and I let it sit for about 30 minutes before I started working in it. I just wanted to add that piece of information. It's very important. And so how did I get here? I got the plants out of Big Ben, and what I ended up doing is I ran them under the sink for about 60 minutes or an hour. After that, I put them in these culture vessels and poured in a couple drops of 20. You can use dish soap if you don't have 20, and distilled water. And I let them soak for about 2 hours as a pre-treatment. Occasionally giving them a shake, a stir, moving them upside down, whatever the plants need, you need to do it. I did that for 2 hours. Once the 2 hours was complete, I then put them through another solution that consisted of bleach, 15%, and 85 milliliters of water. So 15 milliliters of bleach and 185 milliliters of distilled autoclaved water. And I poured that into those containers, and I let them sit for about 20 to 25 minutes, which is to the point where they start getting white edges around the plant. Once those white edges form, that should be a sign or indication that it is time to move forward and rinse those plants. In this case, I rinsed mine about 4 to 5 times, again with autoclaved sterilized water. You can use a brand new jug of distilled water, but do not use a jug that you have already opened. The water needs to be as clean as possible. So after I rinse them, then this is where we started this part of the video where I was removing the dead plant material from the edges, ensuring that none of that stays behind, because it could potentially kill off the plant while it's in the media, and you do not want that. You went through this hard work for what? For what? And Big Ben suffered for what? For the video. So these are going to be the final culture vessels that I'm working with in this part of the video. Thanks for sticking this far if you have. I really appreciate it. I also wanted to add that there are other protocols for different plants. It just depends on the variety and species that you're working with. Not every plant is going to have the same protocol. So for this one in particular, it works for the Dieffenbachia. I don't know if it works for any other plants. It is possible. You just have to experiment and see what works best, or you can just research and see what protocols work. If you happen to like the content that I created here, go ahead and give me a follow and a like. I really appreciate that, you guys. It helps get my content in front of more culturists or enthusiasts that want to get into plant tissue culture, and show them that it's totally doable from home. And again, this is from the sanctity of my own house. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Thanks. Bye.